Hi there, I'm H. Nazario, and here we are doing another segment of interviewing our faculty. Today we have with us Frank Paul Mezick. Mr. Mezick, how are you doing?
I'm doing just great.
Mr. Mezick was born June the 8th, 1925. In 2 more days, he will be 86 years young. His place of birth was Fairfax, Alabama. He had a brother named John, sisters Martis, Everly, and Myrtle. His father was John Daniel Mezick. His mom was Mattie B. Mr. Mezick had a famous uncle, and he had a great occupation, one that he had to hide from the folks. He was known as a bootlegger, but then as a bootlegger he turned over to a preacher. Mr. Mezick, tell us about your uncle.
Well, my uncle, Clarence, he was quite a fella. Up to this particular time, he kind of had to stay out of sight because I think some people were looking for him called revenuers. And by that thing, he thought by going to coming and going to work at Pepperell Manufacturing Company, the company was so big and the building was so large that he thought he could stay out of sight long enough not to get caught. So he just continued on. So one particular day it was cold, and he decided that it was time to kind of sample some of that bootlegging whiskey he'd been kind of hiding around. So he got it out and poured a large glass full and took a drink. Well, it wasn't long that he took another drink, and then after that, the third drink came into being. After he had that third drink, he began to feel pretty good, and he thought he could just about do anything. So he figured, says, well, devil, if you're around here, come on out, because I got you covered now. So what he did, all of a sudden, he looked up, and it was the devil appeared. He just came out with his arms wide open, Uncle Clarence, and Uncle Clarence just didn't know what to do. So what he did, he tried to cover up the fact that the devil had caught him in the action, so he had to do something about it. So he just passed out, and by doing that, he figured he had the devil covered. But what happened was the good Lord took him at that particular time and made him a first-class Christian, and he became one of the best preachers that Opelika and Lee County has ever had. And till this day, he is still known as one of the best Baptist preachers that we have ever had, and probably ever will have, because he really did what the Lord wanted him to do. He got saved, and it made the difference for the whole community. So with that, there's some things happened in your life that you're proud of, and that just happens to be one of them, Mitch.
That's great. That's great. You know, you sound like you might have become, perhaps you lost your calling. Maybe you should have been a preacher too.
No,
you sounded very well with it.
I attempted it at one time.
You attempted it?
I attempted it. I actually got in the mood, and I got the congregation together, and I gave them a pretty good talk and had some good shouting and amens going, and I thought the following group would come along just like I was going there, because the Lord, he had taken me, and I was hoping that he would take some of the others, because Lord knows that they did need to be taken, and we was doing the best we can. But you know, time passes, and when time passes, things pass, and sometimes it's for the best or for the worst. But in this particular case, I wished it had stayed, because down through the years, I lost all of that because I didn't have the following that I wanted to have, and therefore today it's not as strong as it once was. But I go to church every Sunday. I haven't missed a Sunday in 6 or 7 Sundays. 6 or 7 years, and I'm proud of that record. So maybe it's getting back, and I'm going to be able to have that record once again.
That is fantastic. Thank you very much. Now, you went to your elementary school. We won't talk very much, but you went to Mill Village Elementary in Pepperell, Alabama.
Right.
And I understand that that's where most of the Mill families went to school at, elementary school.
Right, because it was a company-supported organization.
I understand. And then from there you went on to the Opelika High School in Opelika. Now at Opelika you were there only 3 years. You were there your 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. And you participated in sports. And as you played football for 3 years, he played right in at that time. He was a bruiser back then, a big time bruiser. He was 6 foot tall and weighed 126 pounds. Woo! Anyway, while in high school, Opelika played Baker High School in Columbus, Georgia. And tell us about that, Mr. Mezick. Tell us about that game.
Well, that particular game, we was proud to have such a large group to come from Fort Benning over here. We thought Fort Benning was a perfect team to be matched against us because we both didn't have exactly perfect records. But the thing about it is the Baker group from Columbus, Georgia, they didn't bring the uniforms, all the uniforms that they needed, so we had to borrow, we had to lend them some borrowed uniforms that we had for them to play the game. And fortunately, we did win. I guess we were lucky that the good Lord had mercy on us because we had to borrow, so they let us win the game. But they was a good team, and we played them every year, and we really enjoyed that. And then after I became a teacher at Baker, I kind of got feeling sorry for them because I kind of wanted them to win because I cared so much about the Baker High School Lions that I always wished that they had won that particular first game.
Thanks. That's a very interesting story. And actually, at our lunches that we have, you have met some of the players that you played against from the class of 1944, 1945. And there's 3 in particular that I'm thinking about that attend the luncheons regularly. Now, moving right along, we want to talk about your favorite teacher. Now, Mr. Mezick's favorite teacher was Mrs. Collins, an English teacher. And the reason, well, I'll let Mr. Mezick explain that. Why was she your favorite teacher, Mr. Mezick?
Well, number one, she taught English, which was my hardest course. And she was real nice to the football players because they worked so hard and deserved her loyalty to the point that we tried to do the best we could on the field. But she was really also attractive. The only thing about it, she wound up marrying one of her students, and that had been going to Opelika High School, and that kind of threw a little cold damp of water on it because we all liked her better when she was pretty and young, and then all of a sudden we found out that our desires had not been met by her getting married. So therefore, to this day, we still miss her, and she was still a teacher at Baker High School, at Opelika High School.
Well, that's a great story. Because we are limited on time, we're going to end this segment at this time. We're going to continue this segment with Mr. Mezick. And so at this time, I want to thank you all for listening in, and stay tuned because segment number 2 is coming up. We'll see you later. Bye.